have is the examples here. So it says wow, a bag of baby carrots and a container of hummus dip. It's pretty good, by the way. Contain a total of 470 calories. For a snack, Rosita ate 3/4 of the bag of carrots and 4/7. Right, so 4/7 is 4/7 of the container of hummus. Her snack contained a total of 290 calories. Okay, if X represents the total number of calories in the bag of carrots, so I'm going to go ahead and underline that right there. X represents the calories in a bag of carrots. So X is carrots. Y represents the total number of calories in the container of hummus. So in my head, I'm thinking to myself, okay, X means what we're talking about, the carrots. Okay, now this is the calories in carrots. So I'm going to say calories in carrots. And then Y is going to be the calories in the hummus. Okay, and we're gonna jot that down. So I'm hoping that you guys have like a paper and you're just writing it out. Believe me when I say when you write it down on a piece of paper and you follow along, it makes so much sense. So X and Y variables that we have on the side there, and it says now how many calories are in each. So that's the question that we're trying to figure out. Okay, and we're gonna write a system of equations. All right, so we have two things here, two variables. If you remember, two variables means that we're going to have two equations, okay, which directly means a system. So let's go ahead and write a system here because we are talking about two people. Now, when I say like two variables means two equations, I don't mean like every time you have x, y, you're gonna have two equations. I mean like, so we have two variables, but we're talking about two different people, right? We're talking about Rosita. Well, in this case, we're just talking about one person, that's true. And we're comparing it to the total number of calories. All right, so it says that Rosita ate 3/4 the bag of carrots and 4/7 the container of hummus, and her snack totaled 290 calories. So 3/4, this is Rosita, bag of carrots, not carrots is the X, and right, and it means that she also ate this 4/7 container of hummus. And I really don't like that I'm writing this in green. This is actually hurting my eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and choose something else. All right, here we go. So let's try that over again. 3/4 X plus 4/7. This 4/7 was the hummus, which is Y, for a total of 290 calories. Okay. Now 3/4 is like she didn't eat a whole bag, right? So if we have like a bag, I don't know what that is. That's not a bag. And if this is one bag, like 3/4 would be like if I like did this, maybe like 3/4 might be like this is the amount that she ate, right? So that's not the whole thing, but we do know how much the whole thing is. It says that a bag of baby carrots and a container of hummus contain 470. So like she didn't eat the whole bag. Obviously her calories would be lower because she didn't eat the whole bag. If we know that an entire bag, that's one bag, okay, this represents a portion of the bag. So one bag and one whole container of hummus altogether is 470 calories. Okay, so these are the two equations. This is Rosita, and this is the whole thing altogether. Like if you go to the supermarket and you pick up a bag of carrots and a bag of hummus, which I know you never will, and you look at it and you're like, 470 calories for 90, for yeah, and then you eat, and but you only ate 290 of them. All right, how do you solve this? Okay, so I know you're probably freaking out because of this. Okay, that's all good. We're gonna do the exact same thing. All right, we are going to do a couple things. Let's see. What we could do is, you know what, let's just continue the way that we normally do. Let's choose a variable to eliminate. So I know that this is crappy number, this is a crappy number, so let's choose, like, let's say x. So we're gonna, if we eliminate x, okay, here is a 1 in the front, it's always there. What do you multiply, or what would our LCM be between 3/4 and 1? Now if you're not sure, right, whenever you have a 1 here, okay, your LCM can just be the number that's not a 1, so like a 3/4. So if you're never sure about what the LCM is, you can actually multiply them. So I could be like, oh, 3/4 times 1 is 3/4, and you can just let that be your LCM. Okay, sometimes the number would be really big, but it's a like a sure way of getting it. So I'm going to multiply this by 1. The reason why is because this will not change anything. And I'm going to multiply the bottom one by 3/4, since 3/4 times 1 will give us the 3/4. Okay. Now again, we also need to have opposite signs. Okay, and we already have the same numbers. So we're going to just make one of them negative. I'm going to go ahead and just make this negative because I'm used to seeing a -1 rather than seeing a -3/4. Okay, that's all. Make it easier. So when I multiply this, this becomes negative 3 over 4x, then negative 1 times 4/7 is negative 4 over 7 y, right? Multiplying by a -1 just changes the sign. That's it. So -1 times 290 is negative 290. Cool. When you multiply this, just think about this, right? 3/4 times 1 is the same thing because anything multiplied by 1 keeps the same thing. If you're unsure about this one, remember that there's always a 1 there if it's nothing there. So again, you have the same thing. 3/4 times 1 would be a positive 3/4. Okay, positive 1 times 3/4. And then 3/4 times 470, I have no idea. So get my calculator. And the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to multiply 3 by 470. So 470 times 3 equals this amount. Okay, so that's 1410. So I took the 3, I multiplied it by that, and now I'm going to divide by the 4, right? That's the 4 on the bottom. Divided by 4 is equal to that. So I'm going to then erase this, and I'm going to write that answer. What it says what, 352.5, and I'm just going to make sure that that's actually right again. So 470 times 3 divided by 4, 352.5. Cool. All right, now just add straight down. Okay, notice I know that it's a fraction, but it's the same method though. Same method. So -3/4 plus 3/4, it's gone. -4/7 plus 3/4. That one might be hard. Now you might have a calculator on Ingenuity, but let's just see. If we were to do this, -4/7 plus 3/4. Okay, I don't know if you remember how to do fractions, but quick thing, it's not that hard. Okay, you're gonna choose a common denominator. Okay, again, so like if you were to count by 7s, oh, that's a bad thing. Count by 7, 7, 14, 21, 28. Count by 4s, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. The first number they have in common is 28. So I'm going to multiply this. Oh, am I still on? Okay. I'm going to multiply this by 4 over 4. So we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by 4. And then to get that at 28, multiply this and this by 7, right? So then now this becomes -16 over 28 plus 21 over 28. Keep the denominators, and this becomes that. Right now, I know that like you're used to using a calculator and stuff, but this is how you would normally do it. So then this becomes 5 over 28y equals, and I don't know what that is. Okay, let's see, -290 plus 352.5 is 62.5. 62.5. All right. Wow. Sucks, right? Now, if you have a calculator at home, this is much easier. But if you don't, you know, it is what it is. We just got to do it the old-fashioned way. The way that we get rid of a fraction is that you can actually divide by a fraction. That would be, or you can multiply by the reciprocal. So if we do that, the reciprocal of 5 over 28 is just, it flipped. So 28 over 5. Okay, so 28 times 5, okay, is 140. So this becomes 140. 5 times 28 is also 140. 62.5 times 28 equals, oh, that's a nice number, 1750. And then over 5. This would cancel out, right? It becomes a 1. This is gone. That's the whole point. And then divided by 5, and you get 350. So what does this even mean? I mean, by now, after what is this now? Like 10 minutes, you're probably like, I don't even care. But if you go back, and the question was, how many calories were in each? And this is just a Y. So Y was calories in hummus. So it's 350 calories in the hummus. To find the X, we're going to substitute, but there's no way that we're going to use this one. We'll use this one. Okay, so X plus Y equals 470. Substituting the Y for 350 equals 470. And then this becomes a much simpler thing, right? Subtract 350 from both sides, and you get X is equal to, kind of want to try to do this in my head, 120. And so that's how much is in the carrots, right? I know that was hard. So take a second, try to do it. I know it's like, again, I know it looks hard because it has fractions, but in actuality, it's not that bad because it's the same method. That's all that matters. All right, so I'm gonna pause this one.